Welcome to Uplifting Humans, where we honor, empower, educate, and inspire the listener. I'm Salindran Bhullar, your host. Our guest today is Waxela Sananda. She's a quantum embodiment coach, a galactic shaman, ascension trainer, and best-selling author of The Love You Crave, a course in ascension alchemy and connection to the divine. Welcome, Waxela. How are you?
Thank you, Salindran. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am doing awesome, and I'm so excited about our second episode in Activating Your Ascension, Part 2, which is called Calibrating to the New Earth. So we get to have a huge conversation with you once again. Now, I just want to recap for some listeners out there that didn't tune in 100% last week. Ascension is the process of personal awakening where your energy bodies open to embody more of the higher frequencies, divine light into your physical body. And then the process shifts your core vibration into higher frequencies. Is that right, Waxela? Did I explain it right, or can you elaborate on that just in case someone's tuned in for the first time?
Yes, I think you did a great job. I would just say, some people have this idea that that ascension is going out. There's a version of that, that people use, but in this case, we are using ascension in the way of inscension. So going inside, bringing more of yourself, of your totality, of your divine spirit into the body, and really waking up the body itself, waking up and activating the body and ascending the frequency. So you don't have to leave the planet. You don't have to leave your body to have this ascension process.
And thank you for that, because you know what? There's a lot of people out there right now that are going through a lot of stuff. And of course, when they start reading and they start thinking into the process, which is really more analytical than it needs to be, they feel like they have to zoom off to some other planet or some other place. But this is not it, like Waxela just explained. Now, with this second part, Calibrating to the New Earth, I want to start off by, I know for myself, now, Mother Earth is a sentient being, just like we are. And Mother Earth decided to show up as a planet being rather than a human being. And of course, we're interconnected. Now, Mother Earth's changing magnetic field can affect, a small compass if you're trying to navigate your way around the planet. As well, it will also affect our magnetic field. So anyone that calls Mother Earth home. Now, the flip side to this whole thing is that a small percentage of you getting together can also affect Mother Earth just as easily. So today's discussion is about calibrating to this new Earth. So Waxela, maybe you can dive in at this point, because I think there's that connection, Mother Earth being a sentient being and us being a sentient being. And how do we work together?
Okay, yes, I'm happy to dive in on this. So it is, like you mentioned, a really wonderful time of connecting with other people, of collaborating, of joining forces for the empowerment of all. So the ascension of the earth is, and a lot of people will say Gaia, the spirit of the earth, has ascended already into the fifth dimension. And it's her physical body, the earth itself, that is sort of catching up. So the physicality, and we talked about that last time, is catching up to where the fifth dimension of Gaia consciousness is already. And so as humans, we kind of vacillate. We go back and forth. Sometimes we're in those higher fifth dimension and above, and sometimes we're lower in the third dimension where we experience duality and fear and chaos and things like that. So the way that we can calibrate and attune ourselves to that higher frequency, the fifth dimension, the higher consciousness of the earth, of Gaia, and of the ascension process is number one, we've already discussed mindset, really keeping your mind in the right place, consciously co-creating your higher vibrational and higher frequency experience with other people and with the planet herself. And, watch what you put in your mind, watch what you listen to, even the movies and the things like that you're watching and looking at. Just notice what the frequency is and choose a higher frequency whenever possible, or turn it off. You can do that too. Just don't look at it. So another thing is like the people that you're around. You want to be around conversations that are high, that are interested in collaborating, in serving, in service to the earth, in service to humanity, in service to the animals and the plants. And just that alone can really help raise the whole vibration, that type of collaboration. Obviously, getting outside, being in nature, walking on her, meditating, sun gazing, being in the sun and on the earth and stepping in the grass and swimming in the water, hugging a tree, whatever it is, planting flowers or just being in nature. That's all very helpful for this calibration. And I also want to talk about business. In this time, businesses are really shifting and changing. A lot of businesses are going out of business because of, this change that's happening. And it is a time to pivot the way that we do business. And it's an opportunity for people to come together and really think about what will serve the greater good, what will serve the whole. Any business now that's based on greed is going to suffer, and businesses based on generosity are going to flourish, because generosity is part of the fifth dimension and greed is part of the third dimension. And so we really want to be thinking about, heart-centered business, about collaboration, about eco-friendly green business, about how can we support and nurture the planet and help the upgrade of, really we're helping humanity upgrade. And also conscious consumerism is really important. Think about, when you do spend money, where are you spending that money? Could you choose an individual or a mom and pop over a big business or big corporation? Because, now more than ever, the small businesses need your support. The people that are contributing to your community deserve your support. So just to be conscious in our consumerism, to be conscious in all ways that we can possibly think of. This is really a time of raising consciousness. The earth, Gaia, has raised her consciousness. So when we do that, we will be in unison, in collaboration with that higher consciousness being.
That's right. And I know that right now we have been given the opportunity to feel things that we have never felt before, not to the degree or the level that we have felt before. Like I can do anything that I want to do, to what do I do next? So there's almost like this freezing point. So the reason that you've been given a lot of this opportunity is to really connect on the internal. Who are you and what is it that you bring to the table every single minute of this precious life that you've been gifted? You can go from peace to chaos all at once. And it's up to you as co-creator, like Waxela said. It's up to you as co-creator to decide, where do you want to be? Now, personally, I know that feeling through the process instead of trying to think through the process is a lot easier. So, in other words, use your navigation tools that you've been gifted. Feeling good, that means you're on the right track. Feeling less than good, you might want to question. And when you're really feeling down, that's giving you the opportunity to reflect and see what needs to be seen. In other words, yes. Well, there is the dark side, there's the light side, there's the right side, the wrong side, the male side, the female side. Everybody knows, the yin and the yang. And now is the time that we, as co-creators on Earth, walking the planet, We have to step into our big shoes and say, yes, I'm standing here and I'm observing as the observer what's happening over here and what's happening over here. But I choose to be right here, right now, where I am, without judgment. And that requires, going back to Kundalini yoga teacher, a teacher always needs a teacher. And the beauty is that, we've got a lot of, experience between Waxela and myself. We've got a lot of experience on how to navigate, how to calibrate to this new earth. So my mechanism, again, is that I use and I choose to see how I feel as my navigation tool. How about you, Waxela? How do you feel? Do you navigate?
I love that. Yeah, it is always important to notice, what are you feeling, and then not judge it, but just go into sort of like communion, going into yourself and just noticing and bringing that awareness. And I find that, the more consciousness and acceptance we can bring to what we're feeling, the more opportunity we have to upgrade that feeling. And a lot of people are getting triggered right now. We're in a time where people are quarantined in their homes with their families or alone, but triggers come up. And so part of what we can do about that is just notice and be in non-judgment and bring awareness to it, and then work with it. Just changing you have the ability, we all do, to change our relationship with what upsets us, with our emotions. And so shifting your relationship to pain, shifting your relationship to victimization, like that person did something to me, or the government is doing this or that, or any place that you're looking outside of yourself saying that is causing a negative impact on me. You have the opportunity to go internal and shift your relationship to, where can I take responsibility for my life, for my emotions? I can't control what's going on out there, but I can control what's going on in here. So there is this opportunity for this deepening, this going within, this higher awareness of what's happening with you, what's happening in your heart. And when your heart's sad, are you nurturing it? Are you giving it love? Are you feeding it, feeding the fire of the upset? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being upset. It's just that, are you getting stuck in it? Because you always have the opportunity to bring awareness and bring a higher frequency feeling or thought to that. And then here's the really awesome way that you can shift the negativity. Just, what can I give in this situation? So I find when there are extra people in my house and extra animals and things, I start to get a little irritated, right? Things start to build up. This person does that. And, there are just things going on that I'm not used to sometimes. And so I'll get into the space of I'll start to feel tension about it. But then when I catch myself, I'm like, okay, what can I give here? Where am I holding back generosity? Where am I not serving? Where am I feeling like I need to be served and I'm not serving? And, I do things like, in that moment when I catch myself and become aware and bring my consciousness in, I'll do something like, I'm going to clean up somebody else's dishes. I'm going to, take care of something that I thought that somebody else should have taken care of. And I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to do it with a heart of service. And so this is very at home, internally, but you can do this globally. You can do this for anything. First, you have to bring awareness and catch yourself and notice that you're feeling that way and not judge it, but then shift it as quickly as you can to, where can I serve more? Where can I give more? Where can I be more generous? How can I be more helpful? And that might be uncomfortable at first. Sometimes you want to be right. Like, hey, I deserve whatever it is, right? Why are they treating me that way? But you got to get past that if you want to have any kind of ascended frequency. You have to get past yourself and just, like I say, celebrate it, have fun with it. Like when you catch yourself, just be like, oh my gosh, there I went doing that ridiculous temper tantrum thing that I do. And now I'm going to be mature and contribute. I'm going to contribute to my environment. I'm going to contribute to the people around me. I'm going to contribute to my clients. I'm going to contribute to my community. I'm going to be a contribution to this earth and this planet and, you know, every being on it.
And
So
and and
that's
I
how.
think that there's, thank you for that, Waxela. And I think there's much to be said that everything outside of us is really mirroring back what's going on inside of us. So the opportunity that whatever situation, circumstance, or individual that shows up and allows for some exchange of emotions to happen within you, they're actually doing you a service without you recognizing the fact that they're actually showing up as a mirror reflection of what's going on inside of you. There's if you think there's chaos, well, that chaos is going to show up at your door. And if you feel like you can go ahead and disconnect, not disconnect, but take the back seat and be the observer to what is actually happening in front of you, and recognize it as a part of the whole, as a part of the oneness that we're actually moving towards. Because realistically, that's what Gaia, or Mother Earth, and the entire cosmos is doing, is it's working its way back to wholeness and oneness. And the other thing is that, what is actually happening when we're calibrating to this new earth? Well, what we're doing is we're receiving an upgrade. It's like a computer upgrade of the dormant DNA that is basically being activated, and you're beginning to experience more of your true multidimensional nature. And so, yes, it is not going to be very quick. I mean, it can be for some of us, but for some of us, it's going to take a little bit of process. It's like when you go, for instance, and you've got a mess from last night. Well, you've got pots and pans that need to be cleaned. And you know what? Some of them need to be soaked. And some of them you can clean off very quickly and easily. And others, you're going to have to work at it. So think of yourself as an individual that is really having to shine itself to the beautiful bright light that is supposed to be 100% whole and one with everything. And so that's what we're working towards. And of course, there's going to be more synchronicities, more trust. There's going to be more miracles and flow as you become attuned to what is actually happening. When you start to see they come in really fast moving, bursts of energy. I'm going to say that you'll notice that there's energy, but it's fast moving, and it's directed by subtle shifts in our perception. This is where you have to be aware. Okay, where is my focus right now? Where am I directing it? Where is my awareness? Because there's something beautiful, and I'm just going to read it out here, and it says, placing the focus of your attention, in other words, the alchemical container of your awareness, is the most important. As a co-creator, it's where your awareness is. Where your awareness is where the energy is flowing. So if you're focused in on something that doesn't make you feel good, all it's going to take is for you to recognize that, and the shift happens ever so subtly, ever so subtly. For me, I know that it's a work in progress. It doesn't matter if I've been on the path my entire life. We all have a human element that is always going to be there. And there's no need to self-judge. There's no need to beat yourself up. And of course, you'll have the ones that'll come to you as a mirror saying, oh yeah, you meditate and you do yoga and you do all of this work, and look at you, you're totally out of control. And sometimes it's your own internal voice that's saying that. And it's like, that's okay. That's the human element. That is something that we all go. You think Buddha didn't go through that? You think that any of the great sages that ever walked the planet didn't go through the same processes that we're walking through right now. But the beauty is we get to walk through, and we actually have so many teachers here to help us. That's the beauty. How do you feel, Waxela? Do you feel that there's a lot of opportunity here?
Yeah, I do. I feel like this is a time where there's more opportunity now than ever before to really receive the higher frequencies, the ascended frequencies, to expand your consciousness, it's like every effort that you make is met 100-fold by the energies. And the thing is, for most people, you have to do the work, you have to be mindful, you have to have the awareness, and take the steps as they show up. Catch yourself when you're going dark, or when you're finding fear in yourself, and allow yourself to release it. But there are so many celestial guides, there are so many beings, light beings, and beings of ascended consciousness that are right here ready to help us. And they've been coming to me in my dream time and my meditation, and sharing with me so much amazing information. And I just want everyone to know that, whether you call them angels or celestial guides, all you have to do is ask for their assistance. They are always around, ready to help anybody who is willing to open up and do the work and receive the ascension consciousness. It's here and now all the time. And it's just a shift in thinking and shifting into your heart. And anytime, I think this is really important for people to remember, that anytime you get in your head and you get into fear, or you talk to somebody that's sick and you're afraid for them, you want to drop that fear into your heart center and just love it. Just love yourself and love the other people. Love the people that you don't love. Just drop them into your heart, whatever's going on, whatever the situation is, and just allow the heart to be, what the heart loves. That's what it does. Get it out of your mind, and so for me, if I wake up in the night, I notice occasionally I'll be generating just some chaotic thoughts that I picked up during the day empathically. And especially if you go to the grocery store nowadays. So I just allow that to drop into my heart. And then through the portal of the heart, the ascended frequencies, the ascended masters, the angelic guides, it just can dissipate into clarity, into love, into freedom. It's not mine to keep, it's ours. It's not yours to keep either. It's ours to release when we get that chaos and that fear vibration. So just remember, don't be attached to it. You're not stuck with it. Drop it into the heart center and release it and let it go. And if you're having trouble, ask for help and just allow the release to happen.
I love that. I love that idea of it doesn't have to belong to us. And our sole job and purpose is to release it. I love that. I have to agree with you in regards to the heart, knowing that the heart is 60 times stronger electrically than your brain, 60 times stronger electrically, and 5,000 times stronger magnetically than your brain. Wouldn't you want to stay in your heart anyway? Considering that's the place where you generate the most energy. And living from the place of the heart is a beautiful, beautiful way of living, because you know what? The brain can sometimes trick us, but the heart cannot. It knows the truth. It resonates with truth only. And, for those of you who've been feeling more than you thought you could handle, in other words, whether you're feeling more joy or more despair or more fear, you know what? Pat yourselves on the back, because by you feeling that, you're processing it. You're processing it not just for yourself, you're processing it for the masses that don't have the ability to process. And I think that now's a good time, Waxela, that maybe we can share some small ways of being able to calibrate to the new earth, to go into higher frequencies. And one of the ways that I want to share is that because frequency or vibration is something that we can shift to, I want to point out, first of all, the positive thoughts and positive vibrations and frequencies actually are stronger. The negative can be pulled up a lot easier, because it's just more strength in the positive. And the fastest and easiest way when you come into the home, I love to put on some beautiful music. That doesn't require anything other than you pressing a button. And with that frequency, that vibration, and with that sound going into your home, through the walls, to every little part of the home, that can really help during these times. Huge, huge opportunity. If you don't know what else to do, light a candle. If you don't know what else to do, hold an intention from the heart. Hold the intention from the heart. And, those are just simple things. I know there are people, they also use incense. Incense is the beautiful, beautiful way to clear whatever is trapped within the walls, in those places that we don't know. And Waxela, I know these are some of the easy, simple things that I do. Any other practices that you can jump right in and share as well?
Yeah, I have something that has come up, in thinking about that. What I'd love to share with people is when you feel, we'll say, you mentioned fear and joy. So when you're feeling like a negative emotion, a fearful emotion, just to go into noticing and ask yourself, what part of me is attached to this? And what part of me is unwilling to release it? And then just notice where that is. And sometimes just going into that inquiry can cause a release and move you into peace and calm. And then if you're in a state, if you're lucky enough to be in a state of experiencing more joy or more energy or more, expansion than is comfortable for you, ask yourself, what do I need to surrender in order to receive this gift? What do I need to surrender? Or where am I resisting this? And this happens to me a lot of times. I'll wake up out of a dream and I'll have an intense energy. And sometimes they're bliss energies, bliss frequencies coming to me. And I'll just allow as much as I can. And then I'll say, where am I resisting? And what do I need to surrender in order to allow more? And then I breathe, just simply breathing can release so much energy. So I breathe and release. My body usually has some point of tension or resistance. And I breathe into that place and I allow, and I just say, I allow this, or I surrender to more, or to calibrating this frequency. It's obviously here for me. And then I relax into it, and this expansion happens that's really beautiful. So I invite everyone to play with that.
That's beautiful. I mean, the quality of the question that you ask yourself is amazing, because it's in the quality of the question that you're asking that your subconscious will all of a sudden step in. It's the moment that you shift your attention and awareness. So for instance, I get this question quite a bit. People will say, I've really tried not to be so negative. I've really tried not. You know what? The minute that something uncomfortable comes up, all it's wanting for you is to put your awareness on it. That's it. And the minute that you do that, the process is already started. Mm-hmm. And that's a beautiful way of recognizing if you're doing the work, because you are doing the work. And sometimes, and we all have these days, I know I have them, where, okay, I have to pay attention to my body. My body does not want me to do anything today. And I am going to have to pay attention, even though there's 5,000 things that I could see that I need to do because I've scheduled them. And again, that is also a part of calibrating to the new earth, that whatever it is, you're going to have to drop. When your body's telling you to drop it, just drop it. And guess what? All it requires is for you to pay attention, because these are those subtle energies that come in and say, I'm not going to shake you, but I can have it so that you're not going to be able to move. So today, all I want from you is for you to sit down. And meanwhile, your mind is thinking, but I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. It's not in the doing that anything happens. It's in the being. It's in the taking that time out, like Waxela said. Go for a nice walk in nature. Go to the beach. Go garden. You love painting, go paint. Bring more joy into your life. You were gifted this life to 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 experience everything. And that means even those uncomfortable things that you're experiencing, experience them fully without judgment, because that was a part of the process. Anything else that you'd like to say before this episode is over, Waxela? Because I think that we've made some progress in giving some tools and tips on how the process is going to unfold and how you can actually partake in this being a little bit more gentle and a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, I love that. And one of the things that you said, I really want to just give a little tip on an easy upgrade. If somebody says, I'm trying not to be negative, just shifting the verbiage of that, instead of trying not to be negative, just practice being more positive, or practice being more grateful, just shifting the terms, because not like their negative term, not being negative, there's a double negative right there. So practice being positive or being kind. But what you can really do is when you're having a hard time getting over negativity, give something to someone. Call someone that needs a voice to listen to, or someone to talk to, or give something to someone, do something for someone else, be generous. And that gets the heart energy flowing. And then you're like reminding yourself, oh yeah, there are other people in much worse situations than me. What can I contribute? What can I give back? And that will shift the energy faster than anything.
Yeah. Well, that is beautiful. And on that note, we're coming to a close here. And as you know, this is a 6-part series. And of course, you can go online and join us for the previous session that you may have missed on April the 12th. It was Quantum Change. It's on YouTube as well as the podcast. And of course, today being Calibrating to the New Earth, the next episode is happening on April 26th, which is Calibration and Activation Explained. This is where Waxela is going to dive in and show exactly, how the activation process is actually happening. So I really, really look forward to that. And on that note, I came across a beautiful saying, Waxela, and I want to share this with you as well. And that is, there's a field between right and wrong. I'll meet you there.
Nice. Yeah, there is. And just be in the inquiry, be in the love, be in the peace, and be in the field. I'll meet you there.
So beautiful. That was by Rumi. I think I'm going to use that one quite a bit, considering that is truly where we're headed. Is that space in between. So on that note, I'm Salindran Bhullar, your host from Uplifting Humans, where we honor, empower, educate, and inspire the listener. Please do share this episode and share with your friends and family. And also let us know how we're doing, what else you'd like to hear. You've got over 50 years of solid experience. Until next time, there's a field between right and wrong. We'll both meet you there. Thank you.